Hey guys, took a break from work so I can make some lunch, and I started this last night. I saw a video on Facebook talking about making Utthappam, so I stopped in the Indian grocery store that's behind my branch there in Noblesville, and I started making the batter last night, and here's my batter. You use rice flour and black gram flour, which is a chickpea flour, and it makes a little Utthappam, and I didn't know what it was, so I decided to try it. You know me, I'll try anything once. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it now. And oh, I made the sauce. So you use a tomato sauce, and you add to it some Mexican, some chili powder, some red chili powder, some cumin, some garlic powder, and lemon juice. And you can Google the recipes. So I went ahead and made the sauce and let it marinate for about a half hour. My pan's nice and hot. And instead of using regular butter, you have to use clarified butter, and it's called ghee. And you can get it off of, well, you can get it at an Indian grocery store, or you can get it on Amazon. Of course, I ordered mine from Amazon, and it came in a package, and the glass was shattered, so I had to get some ghee at the Indian grocery store. So I'm just going to start and put a little bit of the ghee in the pan and let it get, it's clarified butter, so it's nice because it gets nice and hot. And then I'm going to let that cool off for a little bit. So when you use the rice flour and the black gram flour, it starts to ferment. You have to let it sit overnight, and it kind of looks like a pancake batter, if you will. And it says that it's supposed to rise like 25%, but I don't know. If it did, I certainly didn't. I couldn't tell. But there's several different Uttappams that you can make. And so I'm just going to ladle this on, kind of like you would a pancake, and spread it out. And the key is to get it really thin. It kind of reminds me thin like a crepe, but of course it's Indian. So I really kind of like, I tried one earlier before I decided to put this on Facebook. I'm not that brave to do my very first one. And so you can see it's kind of starting to bubble up like a pancake would. So I'm going to take, I've got onion, and you can use, it calls for red onion a lot, but I didn't have any red onion, and I didn't feel like going to the store. So I chopped up tomato and red onion and coriander, or as most of us know around here, we call it cilantro. They call it coriander. So you can see it's getting a nice brown on here, and we're going to flip it and let that finish cooking. I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit. I'm going to move it off of the burner and let that just kind of cook the other side. Oh my God, that smells amazing. And add a little bit more of the ghee. And again, this is just a clarified butter. It's when you have clarified butter, the burning point is much higher. It can get a lot hotter without smoking and burning. You can kind of see how it just goes into the pan. Okay, I'm going to let this kind of move around. So I noticed in some of the videos that I watched on YouTube that sometimes they just eat this plain. But the one that I saw that caught my eye, because I love pizza so much, they actually top it with a red sauce and then some fresh mozzarella. So, oh yeah, look at that. Yum, yum, yum. I'm going to flip it over and let it cook a little longer. In fact, I saw a tip was to put the ghee up on the top. Sorry, here. Let's let this melt a little bit. Sorry for the camera work. I'm by myself today. Taking a quick lunch break. Alright, we're going to take this, kind of spread it around on there. Again, it's just a ghee, clarified butter. Flip her back over and let her cook. Okay. Put that back on the heat and let that finish up. So I don't know how to explain the taste. So anyway, it's made, so for all of you gluten-free people, it is made with rice flour and the black gram flour, and there's no gluten in either one of those flours. And I'm pretty sure you can use a yellow gram flour as well, but the black gram flour is for sure gluten-free. I wish you could smell this. It smells so good with the onions and the tomatoes and the coriander. Get it nice and golden brown. It's still a little bit sticky on that last side, or on the top side, so we'll let that cook. And back to my sauce. So again, I just took some tomato paste and turned it into tomato sauce with water. I added cumin, red chili powder. I added Mexican style, and then the cumin, and then garlic powder, lemon juice, and let that marinate for a while. And it does have, it's interesting, because it has the cumin in it and then the Mexican style chili powder, it kind of has a cross between tasting Indian and actually tasting Mexican. But then the Utthappam, you know, which is very Indian, is going to bring out those flavors. So we're going to turn off the heat. I'm going to top this with the red sauce that I've made. And then the trick will be getting the mozzarella. I'm going to kind of go not too heavy on the sauce. If Lacey was here, she'd say go even lighter on the sauce. And let's bring in some mozzarella. Okay. Now, just to let that finish, and again, I already took it off the heat, or I turned the heat off, but I do have it on the burner. I'm just using a Coral plate, just a normal dinner plate, to seal the heat in, because I don't want it to cook too much on the bottom, but yet I want that cheese to melt. So I'm going to let that cook for a little bit. And I thought it was interesting, the more I've been exploring different ethnic cuisines, that that we call it cilantro when we're making Mexican, but yet they call it coriander. Of course, it's from the coriander seed, coriander plant. But I always thought that once you grew it and used the leaves, that it was considered cilantro, but it's actually both. So, learning something new. All right, let's take a look. Oh, nice. That's starting to melt. So, just wait a little bit longer till that cheese melts. And I've been trying to watch my carbs. I'd still like to be able to have, some type of pizza type dough. And so I saw when it was made with the rice flour. Oh, here, while that's finishing, I'll show you. I used brown rice flour. It technically calls for white rice flour. And then this is the gram flour that I got from the Indian store there in Noblesville. So those are the two different flours that you want to use to keep it gluten-free. And when you eat, if you've ever had gluten-free bread, it sometimes is, well, it's not real tasty in my opinion, but if you've tried like a gluten-free pizza crust, there's no gluten to bind it together, so it's more, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for to try to describe it, but this has a nice silky texture to it. Let me get a towel here. Oh, look at that. That is perfect. All right, so serve this baby up. Nice. The bottom's not too done. And we'll put it on the plate. And that's it, guys. It's really pretty simple. But the trick is, like I told you before, when you're using the rice flour and the black gram flour, you have to let that marinate for at least, it says 7 to 8 hours or overnight. So I would say I did my batter last night, and there's a nice up close look at it. You can see the batter. It's I guess it's kind of the consistency of a pancake, but it's of course savory. So anyhow, yeah, yum. I'm glad that I stumbled onto this new recipe. Again, it's called Utthappam, And I encourage any of you guys out there that love to cook to try it. I love trying new things, and I love sharing them with all of you guys. Have a great day. God bless.